Bop, 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 bop. Geeks are back. Popping in. We got a huge card. Jacksonville, Florida, April 9th. UFC 273. Whole bunch of beasts in the building. We got 2 title fights. Aljo Pichelle. And we got the Korean Zombie versus the Volk, the Great, the Aleksandar. Let's get into it, boys, from the bottom to the top. Hum now. All right, first fight of the night. This is going to be a good one to get us off going. Here we go. Daniel Santos versus Julio Arse. Believe Daniel Santos comes out as a dog, plus 160-ish. Arse is going to be minus 200-ish, around there. This is going to be a scrap and a half. Daniel Santos, not a lot of tape on this guy. You can look him up on YouTube. You can look at his tapology. This guy's known for spinning wheel kicks to the body. And everything that you see, it's just so devastating. I mean, the contact that he hits with these kicks, these guys drop like flies. On the other hand, he's 10-1, so he's very seasoned. I mean, that's one thing I did notice is this guy's not coming into the UFC with, like, you know, a lot of these contender series guys do. He's ready. This kid's game. He's about 28 around, I would say now. A lot of the videos are from 5 years back, and he's 24, 20, 22. So he's around getting to his prime. I'm excited to see what he's got. Julio Arse, talented, great fighter, gonna be a good fight, but he has been chinned in his last couple times. I think that sits in his mind. I think that this young stallion's gonna come out there and throw some crazy shit. He's already got knockouts, spinning wheel kicks to the body, spinning elbows. He's got submissions. Give me Daniel Santos at a dog price to rip 273. Hum now, baby. Let's go. Goosey, we rip it next.
Yeah, I think I'm riding the same wave. I'm picking Daniel Santos in this one. You know, I think you look at him, he's got a Muay Thai background with jiu-jitsu in the back pocket. He trains with one Charles do Bronx Oliveira down there in Brazil at Shoot Box. I looked at his Instagram just because he's had a long time off. I wanted to see what he's been up to. And all his pictures are him grinding in the gym. His one loss is because he got taken down and out wrestled. I don't see Julio Arce being able to do that. So I'm going to take the guy who I think is going to bring a little bit more volume in the stand-up fight, and I'm going to pick Daniel Santos to get the upset.
Let's hear the flip side, Dano.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Arce just because even though we saw him get knocked out against Song Yadong, I like his durability. He's a former 145er, and this fight's going to be at bantamweight. I think he's got a lot of respectable names under his belt. His last, let's see here, 4 fights: Juicy J, Dawodu, Andre Ewell, and Song Yadong. So those are pretty respectable names to where the UFC is giving him a brand new debuting fighter on the first fight of the night. I think, you know, there's no fights before this fight, so this is the last fight. Last place you want to be on the card. So he's fighting for a lot here. And I don't like his price at 195, but I'm going to stick with Arce. Maybe decision.
Decision tech. Get a little crafty. Fishman, let's hear it.
Yeah, so I was kind of reluctant to pick Santos. And then I looked at Santos, and then I was reluctant to pick Julio. So I had a tough decision to make with this one. We have a dude, like you said, at Shoot Box, dude that's never been finished, coming out, making his debut. Has a little bit of ring rust. He had some canceled bouts. So, but Arce, on the other hand, like Dano said, has been fighting top dudes. And I mean, the L's he took, like you said, Song Yadong, he's a dude, 2 split decision losses. And I mean, I don't know. For me, it's hard to go against the dude that's been fighting caliber guys. And I'm going to go with Arce on this one.
All right. These are the facts. We're split down the middle. Stay tuned to the Geek Sheet to see the results. We're going to move on to the next one. It's a girl scrap. It's Kay Hansen versus Piera Rodriguez. Kay Hansen 7-5. Rodriguez 7-0. The odds are going to come out dead even, minus 110 each. That means I am nowhere near a line on this fight. That means I am so far away from a line. I will take Kay Hansen just because. Let's go Dano off rip.
If I had to say it, Kay Hansen. I know she's game, but I'd like to see that tag maybe get to 150. But other than that, I'm gonna pass. But if she gets up there, Kay Hansen underdog, can't go too wrong with that.
Yep, can't get wrong with that. Let's go Fishman.
In this fight, we got Piera Rodriguez making her debut. Striker, 5 knockouts. And basically this fight, Kay Hansen, she's at 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. And I like in a fight, I always see in 15 minutes, especially, I just see the fight getting to the ground at some point and Hansen getting a sub. And I don't think Rodriguez is well-rounded enough to handle the ground game. So I'm going with Hansen on this one at underdog 120.
Beautiful. Goose.
Yeah, I look at this fight. What's her name? Piera Rodriguez looked pretty good on the Contender Series. Her wrestling wasn't great, and I think that's where she could get exposed, especially as the fight goes on. You know, Kay Hansen is known for bringing pretty good cardio. She finished her last fight strong, even though she lost. She had a good last round, made it 29-28, and I see with her dropping back down to 115 where she probably should have been all along. I see her being able to grind out the first round and win the last 2 just off pressure and moving forward. So I like that the line swung. I thought it was probably right how it was, which had Hansen as a slight favorite to start, but she's an underdog now, so I'm definitely taking her.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. It is a decent scrap. We got Anthony Fluffy Hernandez versus the newcomer coming off of Dana White's looking for a fight. Very impressive. I believe he got a finish late in that fight. Might have been late in the first round. It was a great fight. Josh Fremd steps in. He's going to be a plus 154 underdog. Last time we saw Fluffy, we saw him submit Rodolfo Vieira, the jiu-jitsu specialist. That was something that went down as submission of the year, upset of the year. You can make anything up. He got the award. That kid, he really showed out that night. Now, in this matchup, he's not going to get a guy that's going to gas out in the first round and be able to snake some stupid shit. But I do think that Anthony Hernandez is a bigger guy for the weight class. So I don't think that the whole Joshua Fremd pressure wrestling game is going to pay out. With that being said, I do like Fluffy in this fight. I think Fremd has not even had close to the competition that Anthony's seen. So I don't think that he brings anything to the table too crazy that you really got to worry about. Obviously a crazy shot or a crazy something position that they could fall into, of course, but off rip on paper, I don't really see too many threats in Joshua Fremd. I'm going to take Anthony Hernandez in this bout. It's minus 185. Not a lot of units. Let's go Goose off rip.
So a week ago, I put Dricus du Plessis in my lock parlay when he was still fighting Anthony Hernandez. So I think he's fortunate. You know, he got the opponent change. He has been preparing for a fight. This guy's stepping in on short notice now. I think he might start a little slow because he has been off for a while, but he's a tough dude. He's hard to finish. I think as this fight goes on, he starts getting more and more comfortable and eventually taking over in this one. So I'm going to go with the guy with the full training camp coming in, guy with a little bit more experience, and take Anthony Fluffy Hernandez.
Fishman.
So on this one, I was riding with Hernandez, 2-2 in the UFC. And this dude is a former LFA champ. He beat Brendan Allen. And the underdog, Hernandez. Let me talk about Hernandez. Last 2 people he faced, Kevin Holland and Rodolfo Vieira, like you said, pulled off the arm in gi, and Kevin Holland knocked him out. But Fremd, this I believe is at Factory X, and he's just been active as hell. I mean, his only L in his last, 6 fights is Gregory Rodriguez. And I don't know, he's on a 2-win streak, and I don't know, I think he's got it. I don't think he's going to get subbed. He's never been subbed before, and he's just been active as hell. I like that. I'm going to go with friend on this one.
Dano.
I really like this fight, and I think it's just going to be a weird fight because even though Anthony Hernandez is really good on the ground, he was getting the hell beat out of him by Vieira and didn't really look to pressure a takedown or get into the grappling at all. So he was kind of just like you said, just waiting for him to gas out. I don't know if Frem's gonna gas out, but I know that, Fluffy might not be the best on his go-to might not be the top or the bottom, but he's really good in the in-between when they're rolling or when they're, just moving positions. I guess that's how he submitted Vieira, just rolling and then found the choke. So I think if this fight goes to the ground, Hernandez will be in a good spot. But can he get it there? Will he be aggressive enough? Maybe he wasn't shooting because Vieira is so good on the ground. He didn't necessarily want to go there. So maybe he'll look to be more ground dominant in this one. And I like Fluffy. I don't know about sub, but sprinkle a sub would be nice.
Another one would be something for it. There's something about these guys doing some crazy shit and then going on crazy runs. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's move into the next matchup. We got the legend Alexei Olynyk, 59-16-1, versus Jared, the fingertips, the finger paint, Bandera, 12-7. This guy's so weird. I'm not gonna even front for a second. It's so hard to get behind this guy in any kind of matchup. He really could be facing the lowest tier heavyweight, and I would still second guess myself. With that being said, I'm taking an Alexei submission, baby. Let's go. This guy is just, I don't know if he's just missing a lot of pieces, and he's not athletic enough to make up for it. So I like Olynyk to just catch him in a weird spot. He's gonna mess up at some point in this matchup, especially if he comes out and he gets all confident. And he was really weird with Andrei Arlovsky, with the whole oh, you're a legend, I really want to fight you. That stuff's just weird. So I think he's gonna do that again, but be on the wrong side of it. Give me Alexei sub. Goosey, rip it.
Yeah, so I was all over the Latifi train when this fight was first coming out. He falls off the card. You got big old Jared Banderas stepping in on short notice. And I think Alexei gets 60. All right, he's been sitting at 59 wins for his last 3 fights, and they haven't gone his way, but they've been against significantly better competition. Jared Bandera, he's up against the wall on short notice here, doesn't have the best grappling, and I think it's just a matter of time till Alexei Olynyk takes him down and the boa constrictor goes to work. I see Alexei getting the sub in this one.
Facts. Dano.
Yeah, so just like the last fight was I thought is going to be a super weird fight. I think this one's going to be as well, just in a worse way. We got the big Blad Jared Bandera, who's he's flat-footed. He doesn't excel too much in one department. And then we got Olynyk, who is 50-something years old. He's chasing win number 60. I think he weighs less than a lot of heavyweights he's faced, and Bandera does weigh a lot more than him, but Bandera, like I said, is flat-footed. I think Olynyk, he has good cardio. He's been in a full training camp. I think he can use his mobility and then hopefully get him to the ground, exploit Bandera's ground game. We all know Olynyk's got a really good ground game. So I'm riding Olynyk. I'm hoping he gets 60 here.
Yeah, facts. Fish.
Yeah, so we got Olynyk coming in for his 77th professional fight, and
What a guy.
Bandera, his key to win is to stand up, but Olynyk it's a fight, and Banderas gonna slip up. Olynyk's gonna find a shot. He's gonna take him down, and I think he's gonna get that win. And I'm gonna be hella hyped for that 60th, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Alexi's
go.
definitely Ferda this weekend. Like
Underdog too.
yeah, he's a Ferda pick, undoubtedly. Let's move on to the next one. This one's a fucking scrap, bro. Light weights, Vince Pichelle versus Mark the Olympian Madsen. Vince from hell. Pichelle is 14-2. Madsen's undefeated, 11-0. This is going to be a scrap and a half. A lot of telling signs from their last couple fights. Vince coming back after a long gap, looked amazing in his last fight. A lot of movement. He faced Austin Hubbard, who is flashy but consistent fighter. Got to be good to beat him. He made quick work, 30-27 on him. That was brilliant. Mark Madsen, on the other hand, came out against Clay Guida in a fight that we all kind of thought Mark Madsen's kind of just going to do like out Clay Guida. That was not the case. Clay Guida comes out running around the octagon. Madsen's having a hard time corralling him. This matchup is going to be a lot like that. Vince Pichelle, a lot of movement, a lot of lateral, side to side, a lot of in and out, a lot of quick jabs, very lengthy. I think this is going to be a tough matchup for Madsen. Not to mention Pichelle is a dog. Get him on his back, lethal. This guy throws up subs. This guy doesn't like to sit there, so he's not going to accept down the bottom position, which is always awesome if you want to bet on somebody. Rains elbows from back position. I like Vince Pichelle in this. I wish the line was better because it's going to be a really close, good scrap. Mark Madsen has that Olympic wrestling in his back pocket. Give me Vince. Just give me Vince. That's it. I think he's gonna be able to just barely edge him out. I think the movement's gonna be a little bit too much. Madsen's not gonna be able to get his hands on him as much as he'd like. Let's go Dano off rip.
Yeah, I agree with the Pichelle movement. I think Madsen's a little more technically clean in the grappling and on the ground, but then we got Pichelle, who's a little more aggressive and efficient on the feet. So I think it's going to be a fight to grab Pichelle. And like you said, can Pichelle move? Can Madsen get around him? I think so. I got the Olympian underdog 11-0 going up against Pichelle from hell. I love it. I think it's going to be a scrap, and I got the more technical, clean, getting stuff done. I'm going to go with Madsen.
These are the facts. All right, let's go Fishman.
So this one's also a real tough one to pick for me. Vince Pichelle, 3-win streak, great striking, and in 16 fights, he's only been subbed one time. I mean, he's only got knocked out one time. This is a fight where I think if his striking's on point, he could keep Madsen at bay, just like with that Clay Guida fight. But instead of just, if he could just keep Madsen at bay with the striking, he's got it. But Madsen, he's at fight ready and never been finished. And I think I'm going to have to go with – nah, dude. Nah, we're riding with Pichelle, baby. I have to go with Pichelle, dude. Pichelle from hell, dude. He's just a dog, bro. It's something not a lot of fighters got. So, but I'm going to ride with Pichelle on this one. Fire mustache gang. Let's go.
All right, that's facts. Goose.
I love that breakdown, Fish. That fires me up.
That's what it comes down to, bro. I mean, I think Pichelle's just got more heart for this one, but let's see if he gets the finish. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Looking at this fight, obviously you got Madsen, better wrestler, Pichelle, better kicks, better pace. Going off the last fight, I would argue that Madsen might have the better hands, specifically in this matchup. I think he keeps a little tighter guard. If he's able to walk forward, he might give Pichelle problems if he's having to kick off that back foot, especially early. Pichelle doesn't have the best takedown defense. And even Mike Miller, who's not a huge grappler, he does have the jiu-jitsu game, but he was getting him down, keeping him there for a little bit, and then making it hard on him to get back up. I think Madsen's wrestling background will allow him to just overpower Pichelle in some of those situations and keep him on his back a little longer. So you give me an Olympic wrestler, silver medalist against a guy with 26% takedown defense in the UFC in Pichelle. And I'm going to take the Olympic wrestler. So give me Mark Madsen at plus 115 in this one.
And we're split again. Stay tuned to the Geek Sheet for the official results. That fight's going to be fucking bonkers. We're moving on to the next one. It's Mickey Gall and Mike Malott. This is going to be a scrap and a half. We got a welterweight matchup. Malott 7-1, Mickey Gall 7-4. I think Malott is a stallion. This is a fucking platform for him to boost his entire brand, image, you name it. I feel like Mickey Gall is a fucking Walmart version of Mike Malott. I'm sorry to say it, but prove me wrong on Saturday, Mickey, because that's what everyone's saying, and I'm kind of riding it right now. Give me Mike Malott inside the distance. Let's go Fishman off rip.
Yeah, so this dude, Mike Malott's got 100% finish rate. All of his wins. He's got 3 knockouts, 4 subs. Trains at Team Alpha Male. And his last fight, the Contender Series, round 1, sub, 39 seconds in, making his debut against Mickey Gall. And he's at Gracie, New Jersey, Jiu-Jitsu. So 2 more ground dominant game dudes. But Mickey, he lost to Perry, Diego Sanchez, and I think Mike's got better hands than Mickey. So I'm riding with Mike on this one. But quick fact, Mickey Gall subbed CM Punk back in the day. That's always funny.
Yeah.
How could we forget? All right. Well, interesting fact. WWE guys most of the time aren't good MMA guys. All right. Dano, rip it.
All right, I think I'm with you guys on Mike, and I always talk about the UFC doing stuff for fighters, and I think they want to get Mike some attention here because this is one of Dana's boys off the Contender Series. He had a first round submission, and then you look at his stats, and he's got 4 sub victories, 0 sub losses. So Mickey's going to look at that and think, the ground's going to be a tough time with this guy. And then he's got 3 TKO wins and 1 TKO loss, whereas Mickey Gall's got 0 TKO wins and 1 TKO loss. Fish, I agree. I think his hands are better than Mickey's. And I think, when Kelvin fell out, there was a spot on that main card. And I think there could have been some other fights, arguably, ahead of these guys. I think this is a business move. They got a lot of stock in Mike. I like it. Let's do Mike by knockout. I think it's going to be electric.
I was actually kind of torn, just considering Mike Malott predominantly first round finishes. Mickey Gall has all decision losses. But then you look at that, you're a little bit worried about the cardio. If this goes to the second, third round, does he start fading? But then I dove deeper into it and common sense prevailed because Mickey Gall, his first 3 fights were all against people making their debuts, which isn't that unnormal. But he was 1-0 when the UFC signed him. So he fought 2 essentially celebrities in Mike Jackson and CM Punk making their debuts in the UFC. All right, you think Dana has given some stud 2 guys making their debut in the UFC? I don't think so. And then he also beat Sage Northcutt. So you take those wins out. This guy's 3-4 overall. I think Mike Malott can beat that guy. So give me Mike Malott. I think he looks pretty dominant in there and makes a little bit of a name for himself. So
yeah, I think Malott's kind of a parlay piece in my eyes. He's minus 200, so it's kind of hard to blast off on a straight, but I still might. Let's move on to the next one. It's a girl fight. It is Raquel Pennington versus Aspen Ladd. I'll take Raquel Pennington because she's a dog. Even though she's 13-8, she's a dog. Aspen Ladd's 9-2. I've just seen weakness. I've seen hesitation. I don't read too far into these girl fights. Definitely won't place money. Give me Raquel though. Let's go Goose off rip.
Yeah, I can't pick Aspen Ladd after that last main event. That was probably the worst thing I've ever seen. So I'm going to take Raquel Pennington. She's got a good presence in the octagon. She's going to walk forward, shoot takedowns, throw the hands a little bit, and I think it's just going to be too much for Aspen Ladd. If the Aspen Ladd of old comes out, maybe this fight's competitive, but if it's the same girl that's shown up the last 2 times, it's going to be an easy night for Raquel Pennington. So I'm going to take the vet in this one.
Dano.
I don't have too much to say. I mean, like you said, Aspen Ladd's last fight was bad, and then she's had many weight issues, and it's just tough to pick someone like this. And Raquel Pennington's a wild card. She can do whatever, whenever, lose to whoever, beat whoever. So I'm going to pass on this one.
Facts. Fish.
I'm riding with Raquel on this one. She's got a little bit more experience. 15 fights in the UFC. She's on a little bit of a streak, 3 wins, and experience got it. Her L's are to Holly Holm and Amanda Nunez. So we're gonna go with the experience here with Raquel.
Okay. Let's break down the next fight. We got the main event of the prelims. It's Marcin Tybura versus Jarzinho Rozenstruik. This line is changing quick. We got Marcin Tybura at plus 126 now. It was much higher earlier. His line is dragging down. Jarzinho minus 157. Styles make matchups, boys. Tybura's the wrestler. Jarzinho's the striker. You can put 1 and 2 together. I'm gonna have my paws off of this fight. I'm a big Jarzinho fan. I got a lot of bias. I think Tybura is gonna be tough. It's gonna be close. My paws are off. Let's go Fishman off rip.
Jarzinho. So with this guy, we got a stand-up dude, 11 knockouts, only been knocked out 1 time, and he's only L's are to dudes. We got Ngannou, Cyril Gane, and Curtis Blades. So, but like you said, this one's interesting because Marcin Tybura, he's got ground game training at Syndicate, and he's got 6 subs under his belt. And in his since 2020, he's 5-1. He lost. His only L was to Aleksandar Volkov, and he's beat Walt Harris, Greg Hardy, Ben Rothwell, Maxime Grishin, and Spivak. So, I mean, it's kind of like the Olynyk fight. Do I see it going to the ground and Tybura hold him there and getting a sub? I don't know. I'm riding with Jarzinho on this one. I think the hands are going to come through. It's a heavyweight fight with other weight class. Maybe I'd go with the wrestler, but I think Jarzinho, he'll find a shot, and I think it'll be the end of the night for Tybura. So we're riding with Jarzinho on that one.
All right, Goose.
Yeah, this is a heavyweight banger, so to speak. You know, you got a guy with a lot of power, good striking, and Jarzinho Rozenstruik. And Tybura is a guy, good wrestling, huge dude, and he's going to rely on toughness in there. The only thing is, in this fight, with how much Tybura gets hit, the human body can only take so much. And I think when you're hitting as hard as Jarzinho Rozenstruik, you get a few of those big shots. I don't care who you are. It's probably going to turn the lights off. And I think Jarzinho's shown enough grappling defense, especially in his last fight against Curtis Blades. He was able to get back up, keep the fight going, hit him with a flying knee that broke his orbital, caused his eye to swell up. I think he's going to do enough to keep it standing long enough and find that button on Tybura. So I'm going to take Jarzinho Rozenstruik by knockout.
Skull. Dano.
I'm agreeing, and I think Rozenstruik needs to like notice where he's at as a fighter, because he was headlining fight nights and close to fighting for a title at heavyweight, and now he's at the prelims. We've had Tybura, who's been floating, and I think one of Rozenstrike's main topic points or point out points of his losses was he was he didn't fire. He was like not trigger happy. He would shy away. So I think he's gonna come out, unload on a wrestler. I think it's tough to be a wrestler at the heavyweight division and not the best hands, because those guys hit hard. And I think Rozenstrike is gonna hit real hard this weekend. I don't know if we'll see a skinny Rozenstrike. I know he was looking skinnier from his previous fights. But if he comes in heavier in Tybura, I think he'll do good at stopping the takedown and keeping it on the feet. I got Rozenstrike.
Yeah, let's go, baby. All right. That wraps it up. That's the prelims. Thanks for tuning in. Stop by for the main picks on the main card. We are coming back at you. Let's go.